Okay, I think we're
Right.
ready for the Rats cast number two. We missed out on doing a Rats cast number two on Sunday because people had to peace out early, and that's cool. So we've got Dylan back over here, who is our deputy of video games, and we're going to talk about some stuff. I guess I should introduce myself because this is only the second Rats cast, so we don't really have a following yet. Yet. My name is
Soon.
John Eric Higstead. I'm the arbiter of the religion of art, theater, and science. So, do you want to talk about anything?
Um, yeah, off topic or completely out of left field. As far as directing a show, it would be fun to do the Fantastics, but I'd like to hear your opinion of this. I actually wouldn't want to direct the Fantastics, but if I had to, I
What?
think it could be fun because the girl loses her necklace to El Gallo. I'd like to cast the show, give her this necklace, and then maybe take the cast aside and say, everybody tell her how good it looks on her. And tell her maybe, oh my gosh, it fits so well with you. I think by the end of this, you've got to keep it. It's yours, it belongs with you. So that when he steals it on the opening night, I could have him break it on stage to get that reaction. Do you think that that would work? Do you think that it's completely different for different people? Like,
It depends on who you're working with, right?
right.
Some actors can handle that sort of thing, and some cannot. So it entirely depends on who you're working with and who you cast, and maybe you program them a little bit early on in the rehearsal process so that some of the props they're using break on quotation accident,
Mm,
and get them more for like no, you just got to use it and familiar so that's practiced into it,
gotcha.
right? Because
Okay.
sometimes those like major fuck ups can lead to breaking character pretty easily. So that would be my only hesitation on setting it up to fail, right? Um, Fantastic. That's one of the few roles I would want to do again. Okay.
You'd like to do that one again?
Yeah, that might be the only one. I don't think I need to do Cladwell again because it'd be hard to top the last one. But um, there's some controversy about the Fantastics, though, too.
Well, the rape song,
Right.
and now leave the wall. You must always leave the wall. It hasn't aged well.
Uh, Surely my dog is in the room with us and apparently needs to go outside. So I apologize, Dylan. It's almost making my eyes tear up. Woo! Whew. Boy, Shirley, do you need to go outside? Wow. Um, so I got totally distracted. Would you leave the rape song in the show?
Yes, it had completely different connotations. I know that they made a different song to be in place of that because it was uncomfortable. I I don't know. I don't think that they were talking about that kind of a rape. They were just using the word as like a Sondheim when the witch's rap. She says he was robbing me, raping me, rooting through my rutabaga. She wasn't necessarily talking about being physically raped. She was being robbed. Something was being stolen. And so there are different meanings to that word. So I think I would keep it in and see how audiences deal with it. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm for keeping it in too because it's like what you just said. You know, sometimes words kind of change their cultural meaning over time. And at the time it was written, it had a different meaning. So do you go with what it is at the time? Now, if you're fully putting it into modern time, no, maybe there's something about that, or maybe you just put something in the playbill about, you know, this was when this was written, da 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 da, right? It had a different meaning, and this is what it symbolizes, so that the um, the removal from the willful disbelief is avoided, right? Because if somebody is taken out of the reality of the show because of the wrong use of a word by today's cultural context, whatever. That's not necessarily what we're looking for. Maybe it is. Maybe you're doing a rendition of the Fantastics that wants to look at that disparity, right? Look what used to be acceptable. Look how it makes you feel now, right? That might be an interesting way to go with the production too. But I'm more of this is what it meant at the time, and if we have to explain that to our audiences to get them to be able to stay in the story, then maybe that's worth looking at. I don't know.
Right. And I think even if they don't understand it at the beginning, if they listen, they will understand it, especially in the connotation that it's used in the show. That was fun, Static. But I mean, then there's like Seth MacFarlane's humor and dark humor, where, you know, the first rape held out will probably get a laugh just out of the uncomfortableness and how it's just kind of shocking.
Right.
So, I don't know. I like it. I think I'd keep it. And then as far as modernizing shows, some of that has gotten annoying, like Romeo and Juliet with cell phones. It wouldn't have worked because all they had to do was say, hey, I'm going to take this sleeping thing and meet me.
Yeah.
So when I heard they were doing it with cell phones, it was like, what? What's the point?
Right.
Yeah.
Kind of breaks it. So they couldn't have taken a break from their sexting to tell them what the scoop was?
Right.
Like,
no.
Yeah. It doesn't work with cell phones. There's a lot of Shakespeare that doesn't work with cell phones.
Yeah.
Yeah. Huh. That was interesting. Yeah, there's a lot of things that also should be relegated to the history of time, right? Like, what's the one that was the controversy in Seattle for a while? The actors doing it in yellowface, essentially. Do you know where I'm at? What show I'm
The
talking about?
Mikado?
Yes, the
Great.
Mikado. Yeah. If you're doing the Mikado and your cast is 100% white, you shouldn't be doing the Mikado.
Right.
Right. So there's some things like that are, I think, a part of our cultural understanding and progress that line has to be distinguished. Why is that different from the rape song?
Because there are so many performers who are willing and wanting of roles that aren't necessarily getting it. I'm sure you know better than I, being up in Seattle, theater politics plays so much of an important role as far as casting shows, getting cast in shows, and that is showing out in movies as well. Yeah. Actors who are playing gay or playing trans are now, we're like, wait, there are gay actors, there are trans actors, there are people, Scarlett Johansson playing an Asian woman.
Right.
From Ghost in the Shell was a mistake because there are Asian actresses who were deserving of that role. That's why it's different. And even though in Flower Drum Song we had white people playing, you know, those parts, I don't think that's something we have to go back to.
Yeah. Agreed. And I think it goes even further than that. There are many actors who can sing and dance. And yet all these modern musicals are choosing celebrity over talent. And that's something that I have a problem with. Like the show, it's called The Masked Singer.
Yeah.
The first few episodes, I was really into it. I really enjoyed it. I don't know who this is. Who can it be? But then I started thinking, well, wouldn't it be a much more interesting show if we had talented celebrities versus talented non-celebrities? And who would win in those scenarios? And I bet you, damn near 100% of the time, the winners would be unknown artists. And would that not be a much better use of those resources than giving Cheech another chance to sing Lowrider?
Oh, yeah.
You know, like, I don't need to hear a Kardashian warble horrendously. I don't know if they've done that. A Kardashian has done it. I don't know. I don't even know who they are, honestly. I don't care, because I don't care about celebrities, so maybe that's part of my thing. celebrity has too much intrinsic value in our society. Why do we turn to celebrity to get people vaccinated?
Right? But it's the whole, no one wants to take a chance on things anymore. Broadway is all recycled ideas. Shrek the musical, SpongeBob SquarePants the musical. So getting celebrities is a surefire way to know that you're going to have somebody coming to see it, because we've got Kim Kardashian. Remember that porno? Well, now she's trying to sing the chicken dance song. I don't care. But and then you're right, but they're also kind of keeping that money insulated. So instead of gaining new talent and finding else what is out there, they're keeping it within their realm.
Making the rich richer. Part of the scheme, right? Do you know somebody in Hollywood? Then you have a pretty good chance of working in Hollywood.
Right.
Do you not know anyone in Hollywood? Your chances are pretty slim. Like worse than the NBA.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
You could go to an acting school and then try to, oh my gosh, what's the word? It's not just socialize, it's that. Ugh.
Hobnob.
Yeah, but they're like they've got like Indeed and different, like, it's networking. You can network with the right people. And maybe you can be backstage doing makeup for somebody.
Yep.
Woohoo.
Right. The height of your career.
Yes.
I don't know. Different people's drives, I guess. Different levels of concern. I think I got to the point where I needed to care about how I looked in public, and here's the big one: remembering people's names.
Mm-hmm.
I cannot do that, and I've never been good at that, and that hurt me at a certain point in Seattle. You're trying to climb up through the political ranks of the theater, if you will, and not if you will. There are political ranks in the theater. It is very much a politics game. So you gotta remember names and faces. You have to know who was playing the big roles, on Broadway, and I never could do that. But I can tell you the different engine sizes between Chevy and Ford between 1960 and 1975.
Well, sure, but I mean, it's just kind of unfortunate that it is such a politics game, because it's not about who you know once you're actually on stage. It's about the craft. It's about trying to be in that situation, live in that moment, however the best you can. And so to have it be so political is unfortunate.
Right, and thanks for bringing that back around, because the casting celebrity over talent, it's a systemic problem within the industry, and it also shows that capitalism is winning in artistic endeavors too, right? If you are creating a piece of art to show to the masses, and you care about the art, then you're going to try to put forward the best art possible, regardless of who's in it, right? A celebrity name does not make the art itself better. It might make it more appealing to more people, which will make it, a more profitable venture. And if all you care about is the profit, well, then by all means, cast as many celebrities as you can afford. But if you care about the art, then perhaps you should be casting people who fulfill that artistic role better.
Right. I think there can be happy balances in finding it, but just like Star Wars, that originated as an art form, George Lucas wanted to do this. The celebrities were basically no name, Carrie Fisher had parents, but it didn't start out like that.
Harrison Ford hated filming the first few Star Wars movies. He did not like being in the films. He thought they were terrible movies.
Yeah, right. But then it jet set his career. He got to do Indiana Jones after that. But then now, I liked the latest Star Wars. That's a hot take. They were fine. There was, though, this like solo offshoot, and they tried to do potentially an Obi-Wan offshoot. All these cash grab movies that people hated and they bombed at the box office because it was no longer about the art form George Lucas starting this. It was about, okay, they'll come to see it if Star Wars is on the tagline.
Right.
Capitalism won.
Yeah. Unfortunately, again and again and again, it wins. And that new report that came out yesterday about the climate being far worse than we thought it was, and how things are accelerating decades ahead of schedule. Um, it's kind of part of that, right? The whole capitalism thing. But I guess that was a giant leap in transition of topics, so we don't need to do that. But it's just interesting how capitalism dominates every aspect of our life, of our societies, at least here in the West and in capitalist societies. But even in so-called communist countries or places with other forms of autocracies or dictatorships, we still see capitalism being adhered to by those in power. So, kind of an interesting thing we need to defeat as the human race before we can really progress forward.
I'm a fan of Shirley snoring in the background. It works for me.
Yeah, that mic really that picks up pretty good sound. I don't think
Yeah.
it's this one doing it. Here, let's take me out and see if Shirley stays in. Yeah. See, so that was me taking out, and now let's let you take out, and we'll see if. Oh yeah, see, all that extra noise is coming from that mic. Listen to that.
Yeah.
Whatever that background noise is, it sounds like the wind. It's not. We're not in a windy location. So I think we're hearing a difference in that microphone. Anyway, now that Shirley has
Taking us off track.
taken us off track again.
It will be interesting to hear this afterwards and find out how crazy the levels were. Was I super loud the whole time?
Right, it will be interesting to see. I'm trying to watch the green bars on the computer here to try to keep it, fairly level, but we'll see. Yeah, that's another thing. Like, do I take care of the sound levels in post, which is difficult, and I'm still learning all of this for all the 3 people listening to this right now. We're getting better, and we're getting better equipment, so this will get better and better. And eventually, I think this will probably be the last time that we just do sound. I think we're going to start videoing at the same time, because people don't care about listening
Right.
to a YouTube video. They want to watch something. They want to watch us talk to each other, watch the intense staring contests we have while debating different subjects. So
Throwing water balloons back and forth. I've been catching Cheetos the whole time, and you guys have missed it. Every single one I've got in sunk.
and one of Chloe's favorite things to watch on the news is when Lisa Desjardins' cat is in the background, right? So I think if Shirley's in the background, we might get a few hundred people watching that way.
We got
Boom.
a doggo.
You don't need to give a shit about her future, but you will care about Shirley.
Yeah. And what's more important at the end of the day? Come on.
Shirley's more important, clearly.
Yeah, obviously.
She wins every battle.
I think every male actor should, or already does, want to play Iago in Othello.
Mm-hmm. Oh, sir, content you.
Is there truth to that?
Oh, yeah, Iago's always been on my list. I did a few monologues from Iago at school. And actually, no. Amy Thone, I don't know if that name in Seattle means something. She very much liked one of my, it wasn't an Iago, but it was at the same time I was doing Iago. Which one was it? Oh, it was Hamlet's. It was To Be or Not to Be.
Oh.
She actually said, you did that just like the professional in this movie. And I'd never seen the movie. So
Nice.
Amy Thone called me a professional Shakespearean actor, kind of. And I'll take it.
Good.
But Amy, she basically runs Shakespeare in Seattle.
Oh, very cool.
Or used to. It's been so long. I don't know. I don't even know who's a part of it anymore. Well, do we want to add anything to this one? I don't know how long it's been. I haven't been keeping track. It's only probably been 15, 20 minutes. But we could do a couple. Should we end this one and like do another one just to create more content?
Sure.
Okay. So we'll call that one good. And that was about how art should take more, not precedence, that's not the right word. What is it? Art should be impacted.
Braver.
Yes, perfect. The art should be braver.
I mean, that's why the killing Donald Trump and Julius Caesar in the New York Park made headlines. They didn't have big celebrities. They were doing this show to make a statement. Be brave about it. And with your casting choices, don't just always fall back on your friends. Sometimes it's pertinent because you know you can rely on that person. But then other times, come on, take a chance, let some of the new kids in. Be brave.
Bravery in art, and how that bolsters the artistic integrity, the artistic endeavor.
Yeah.
If you're more concerned about the art than you are about making money off of the art, then I'd say you're a true artist. If you're more concerned about making money off of your art, well, I guess that's why they have producers. All right, so yeah, we'll end that one. Maybe listen to a section of it, see how bad the sound is, and then we'll probably make another one here in a second. Thanks for joining us. We are the Religion of Art, Theater, and Science. You can find us at www.ratswa.org. That's RATSWA.org. And we haven't even mentioned our newest addition to the website.
You can donate now. It's so easy. Try it. See. Give us feedback. Donate $5 and tell us, did it make you feel better? Was it easy to use? This is for science.
Peace.